Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. You join us once again in the Ligier JS P320 LMP3, this time at Motorsport Arena Oschersleben for yet another track guide. Now, if you're going to run this series in the open setup Falcon sports car and you want to race the exact setup I am driving in this track guide, you can go to our website sambosetups.com. There is a link in the description. Any questions, let me know in the comments, but please note the track state, which is 0% fresh, clean, and the track temps are already shown on the overlays. Enjoy. Right, here we are on the breakdown laps. Our first braking markers are going to be this little entrance road on the right-hand side. As we get there, braking to about 30%, trail it off. Now, as we straighten the wheel, increasing it to about 60%, long trail off down second gear. Halfway through the corner, we're going to start increasing on the throttle. We don't reach 100% till quite late on. Move over to the right side. Once we're under the light stanchion on the brakes to about 60%, and again, just trailing it off, mid-corner, start picking back up on the gas in second gear. We're going to start our turn in midway along these bollards. I'm going to go flat until this first apex. Now we do a big lift, tiny bit of brake pressure, little bit of blip on gas now at the no-cut curb. We brake one final time and then get back on the gas again, nice and cautiously. Going to go flat through the first apex. Now at the second apex, on the brakes to about 45%, trail it off down to third, back on the gas. Don't go too early, you will end up in the grass. Now we're going to absolutely pump it down this back straight towards turn 11. We're going to get on the brakes just before the bridge and to about 65%, down to fourth. Big blip and then a big lift to get through the second part. Over to the left-hand side, we're going to brake at that light stanchion. Little blip of that. And then a final one once we're in the mouth of the pit entrance. And then we power onto the line and over and across we go in a 1:18.7. We have the breakdown lap coming up next. Breakdown lap. So a couple of things I will say. There was one lap of fuel left at the end of this, and it's on very warm tires using the Sambo Setups race setup. First braking marker, this little entrance road on the right hand side. So as we get in the mouth of it, as you can see here, this is where I get on the brakes and I get on up to 30%. I trail it off down to this first apex. Now once I start straightening my wheel, I'm going to start braking harder for the second apex coming up right ahead of us, and I brake up to briefly to about 60%, and then I'm just going to trail it back off and start picking back up on the gas at this point in the corner where I'm pointing at that little, I don't know, this little metal stanchion thing up ahead that looks like it says G burn, not sure. And we're just going to carefully increase that. We're going to do a nice late apex on this double apex turn 2. And we reach 100% once we've tracked half the way back out again. Going to head over to the right-hand side. And as I say, once we're underneath this light stanchion, or just before, I brake sharply up to about 60%. And then it's just a classical trail off. And we start picking back up on the gas. Once we're pointing at this Marshall's up ahead, Marshall's at number 7, I think I can see. And again, just carefully back on the throttle. Start our turn in halfway along these bollards. I'm going to go flat until we get to this apex curb here. Now we're going to do a full lift in fourth. And I've got a tiny bit of brake pressure on, 1 or 2%, just to make sure that the car is keeping its balance, keeping the weight over the front wheels. I hit the second apex curb as well. Once I'm through that, I'm doing a little bit of gas here, up to about 60-65%. Get the car turned in, and I start braking just before we get to the sausage curb on the right side. I brake briefly up to nearly 60%, and again, just trailing it off, and then slowly picking up on the gas in second gear. Wanting to get my right-hand tyres, just feeling for this bit of additional asphalt on the right-hand side. And again, I don't reach 100% till I've tracked almost all the way out. So you go flat through the first apex corner, and then at the second one, this is when we're going to do a lift and get on the brakes. Don't brake too hard here, only up to about 45%, trail it off, and then back on the gas in third gear at the apex. All right, for turn 11, we're going to get on the brakes. It's sort of midway between the 100 marker and this bridge, but closer to the bridge side of things. And again, on the brakes, briefly up to about 65%, trail it off down to the first apex where we start picking back up on the gas. We almost get up to 100% before I then do a lift. And again, wanting our left-hand tires to get over the rumble strip without hitting the no-cut curb. Straight back on the gas. over to the left-hand side, and this little light stanchion that you can just see there, once your car is level with it, that's when you get on the brakes, only up to about 15%, trail it off, and we're back on the gas at the apex. And then the final bit of braking, as soon as we get into this pit lane entrance here, we've got to keep our right-hand tyres at least on this white line that you can see. I get on the brakes, hardest bit of braking that I do, up to 70%, and then I trail it off down to third, and then down to second, and I start picking back up on the gas at the apex. So that's the breakdown lap of the LMP3 at Oschersleben. We have one final version coming up next with the driving line on without me talking, so enjoy.